On the bottom toolbar of Autocad, which is also called status toggle, you'll see these two icons, ortho mode and polar tracking. If these two icons are not visible, then click on this customization button and turn on ortho mode and polar tracking. Once it is turned on, go to any command. I'll select line for explaining use of ortho and polar tracking. So right now you can see that polar tracking has been turned on. Click in the drawing area and now move your cursor. When you move your cursor, you'll see that a green tracking vector appears when the line is completely horizontal. Let's rotate this line, and now you can again see the green tracking vector when the line is completely vertical. Let's rotate it towards another side, and again tracking vector after an interval of 90 degrees, and there is again a tracking vector after an interval of 90 degrees. So after every 90 degree we see a green tracking vector, and this line will be somewhat restricted to horizontal or vertical axis. So in this way it will facilitate making a drawing to those particular angles, and that can be done using this polar tracking. So when you click on this small arrow on the right of this polar tracking, you'll see that 90 is turned on, and obviously with 90, 180, 270 and 360 are also turned on. Let's go and change this value to 30 units now. Now when you move your cursor, you'll obviously see a green tracking vector 0 degree angle, but when you move it further, you'll see that there is one more tracking vector which is at 30 degrees, and then again at 60 degrees and 90 and 120. So we can clearly see that at an interval of every 30 degrees now a tracking vector will be there. So in this way you can restrict your cursor to certain angles, and it will help you in making drawings restricted to some angles without entering angle values. Although we have good amount of angles here, but if you're not satisfied with these many angles, you can apply your own angle as well from tracking settings. So click on this tracking settings and click on this additional angles checkbox, and now click on new. Let's say that we want to enter 18 degrees as our new angle, and now click OK. So when you click on this arrow, you'll see that 18 degrees has been added, and also the multiples of 18 are added. So let's go and turn this on. Let's select line, and now you'll see that after an interval of 18 degree the tracking vector appears, and at an interval of every 18 degrees the tracking vector will appear. You can turn it off, or you can change this value by clicking on the default value or any other value which you like. In case you want to delete this default value, go to tracking settings again, select the angle value and click on delete and click OK. Now let's click on this ortho mode. When you do this, you'll see that this polar tracking is automatically turned off, so you can only keep either ortho mode turned on or polar tracking. So let's delete these geometries, and now let's select this line again. Now if I try to make this line, you'll see that no matter where my cursor moves, it will always make a horizontal or a vertical line. So if ortho mode is turned on, so irrespective of the position of your cursor, only a horizontal or vertical line can be created. If you try to snap this cursor to any other point, then only a line inclined to an angle will be created. So if I click on this point, then only a line which is inclined can be created. Otherwise I'll only be able to make a horizontal or vertical line. Let's press enter to exit this command. If you turn off this ortho mode as well, and this polar tracking is already turned off, and if you select any command, let's say line, and you try to make a line, it will be very difficult for you to make a completely horizontal or a completely vertical line. So since this tracking vector is appearing, it is not because of this polar tracking, but rather it is because of object snap tracking. We'll learn about this in coming videos.